He stood at the window of his private study in Adelaide Cottage, knuckles white upon the sill, watching a late summer squall tear across the long walk. Somewhere beyond the rain-blurred chestnut trees lay Frogmore Cottage, Harry's on-paper address, long since silent. In the dim reflection of the glass, Prince William saw two faces, his own, drawn, resolute, and the faint, years-old memory of the brother who once knew every secret path through these woods. That ghost is now the one royal William has decided never again to let inside the ramparts of his life. Courtiers trace the icicle's birth to March 2021. The Oprah interview aired at 1 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, and at 1:05 William's private secretary rang Sandringham. "We have a Category 5 narrative spiral." Minutes later William typed a line he never released: "Some wounds can't be televised." It lived in his notes for 2 years, chiseling itself into granite resolve. Catherine read it once, nodded, and deleted the draft. Their united front began in that silent vow. Charles's conflict. King Charles III is caught between paternal ache and monarchical optics. Chemo days leave him drained. Evenings at Highgrove he plays home movies of two small princes chasing polo ponies while Diana applauds from a picnic rug. The king watches until color bars appear, then dictates a letter to Harry he never sends, folds it into a journal, slides it beneath a blotter already thick with similar unsent drafts. To Charles, reconciliation is dynastic choreography. His funeral blueprint, codenamed Operation Menai Bridge, demands both sons walk behind the coffin, echoing 1997. To William it feels like an ambush. For months he has watched Harry's envoys shuttle into Clarence House, watched Catherine's smile tighten at every headline hinting Duchess détente, and watched private disclosures boomerang onto Californian podcasts. Enough. Catherine's silent veto. The Princess of Wales, once the palace's preferred peacebroker, now keeps what aides call a sanity ledger. Positive column, parent-teacher nights, early years research, quiet Sunday roasts. Negative column, Sussex volatility. Cancer recovery taught her brutal triage, protect energy, shield children, ignore noise. When officials floated a Sandringham summit Charles, Harry, William, Catherine, Meghan, she issued an uncharacteristic 2-word veto, not interested. She still recalls the bridesmaid dress debacle and Oprah fallout with visceral sting, but the deeper wound is quieter. Meghan's claim the firm ignored mental health pleas. Catherine, architect of Heads Together, felt that as betrayal of work, not just family. She will not risk more crossfire. The Sussex signal. By midsummer Harry's advisors drafted a face-saving proposal, a part-time role as ambassador-at-large for veterans' mental health, financed by Art Ewell, badged by the Crown, stationed in Africa 3 months a year. Clarence House sounded cautiously hopeful until Kensington asked one brutal question: who owns documentary rights? Negotiations froze within hours. Meanwhile Harry learned of Charles's brief hospital stay exactly when the public did via palace press release. No private call preceded it. The omission was deliberate. Until trust rebuilds, medical bulletins remain need to know. Harry felt the chill but told friends he refuses to beg at a door that slams. Helena Chard later mused he must harbor regrets. Palace veterans consider the Ice Mutual and Countdown and Atlas Project. Princess and has quietly told aides she will begin winding down at 80 and retire fully at 90. Her 5-year clock now hangs in the privy purse like a doomsday calendar, 1-800 engagements to reassign by 2030. William's team runs Project Atlas, a spreadsheet with 3 columns, possible, probable, impossible, shuffling names to inherit the Princess Royal's load. Harry's row remains blank. William's calculus. William's dilemma is filial and constitutional. As heir he must embody stability, as father he must shield George, Charlotte, and Louis. Harry's re-entry, even limited to funeral optics, risks reopening every Raw headline. His advisors mapped scenarios: photo of brothers shoulder-to-shoulder sparks healing narrative, followed by the next Sussex media appearance. William concluded that risk outweighs sentiment. One aide summarized his stance: duty is not nostalgia. He conveyed the decision to the king in a phone call described as tense but filial. He assured Charles the monarchy could honor tradition without forcing brothers together. Royal cousins could flank the cortege as they did at George VI's funeral. Charles listened, sighed, and asked for time to reflect. Meghan's non-negotiable. Across the Atlantic, Meghan brands any return to old wounds emotionally unproductive. She focuses on new media ventures and the children's Santa Barbara routine. Sussex insiders say she will accompany Harry only if reconciliation is genuine, not ceremonial. Catherine, hearing that caveat, maintained her veto. A private chronicle of distance. Late July, William receives a stiff note in Charles' looping hand, "Both my sons must follow my coffin side by side." He files it beneath briefing papers marked Earthshot Prague and Mental Health Summit Nairobi, unread since the first glance. Early August, Archual aides request updated funeral protocols. The palace replies with a single sentence, "Arrangements remain unchanged." Translation, no share in planning. Mid-August, Catherine passes Clarence House on the way to a chemotherapy consultation and does not stop for tea, though invited. She later tells a confidant, "Charles knows our love, he doesn't need our presence at every hinge moment." Harry's peripheral vision. In Montecito, Harry stages after-school surf sessions with Archie. Between sets he checks his phone's UK widget 2311, 2312, wonders whether George memorized that tricky Latin verb regere. Meghan, wrapped in a towel, tells him to breathe the Pacific air, let go. But salt cannot rinse Tudor blood. The unsent telegram. Inside Clarence House's vault of protocol stationery lies a draft funeral order of service. Under Charles's instruction, Her Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex stands on procession line 4B, flanked by Princess Beatrice's husband and the Duke of Gloucester. William has not signed off. The parchment waits, a relic suspended between a father's hope and an heir's ice. What happens next? If Charles insists, William may concede a funeral cameo under strict conditions. Harry marches, no balcony appearance, no post-service family conversation. Catherine will not engage unless Meghan agrees to a private, off-record meeting first, currently improbable. Meanwhile, William fortifies his inner circle, Catherine, the children, and the Edinburghs, and leans hard into Earthshot, homelessness initiatives, and the mantra continuity, not celebrity. Observers query whether a dynasty can thrive when its heirs refuse the same pew. Yet the crown has weathered abdication, divorce, fire, and Diana. William wagers that a pared-back, drama-reverse court will resonate with a public weary of spectacle. Harry wagers authenticity, however messy, will win history's sympathy. Charles hopes for one photograph of unity before he departs. Back at Adelaide Cottage, William turns from the window, rain still needling the glass. He drafts a condolence protocol that places Harry 3 rows back, dignified, distant. Down the hall, Catherine reads to Louis, her voice calm. On her bedside sits an unopened brief suggesting another 4 princes photo op. She will reject it tomorrow. Tonight she listens to the rain, grateful for the simple arithmetic of a roof, 3 healthy children, and a marriage unburdened by Californian crossfire. Across an ocean, Harry tucks Archie into bed, wonders whether the Windsor rain still smells of wet horsechestnut, and feels the quiet weight of consequence. And in lamplit Highgrove the king rubs an aching chest, stares at 2 framed photographs, one 1997, one 2024, and understands, at last, that even crowns cannot compel forgiveness. The brothers' paths now run parallel, close enough for the world to measure, barred by a hedge of thorns neither will prune. And in the hushed corridors of royal power, silence still roars louder than any coronation drum.